Good morning and welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Drawing with Michael. It's been a little bit of time from the last time that you and I were together. I've been really busy, so I haven't had a lot of time to make videos for you guys. However, I decided that it was time to go ahead and come back and do a short warm-up sketch this morning. I have been doing a lot of drawing, but of course I can't show you guys anything. It's not because I don't want to, it's because, you know, whenever you sign these wonderful non-disclosure agreements, you're not allowed to show anything that you're doing. So, that being said, just know that stuff that I'm doing right now is for some really cool products that will be in the marketplace soon, and I'm excited to show you guys once they're out. Now, I can show you guys once they're out, but of course, you know, in the meantime, can't show you anything. So what I'm doing right now is just a simple, real simple character sketch of my alligator character. I'm working on another page for my book, Frank and Beans, of course, and I'll be doing some sketches for the interior and some spots illustrations and whatnot. And this particular illustration is just going to show beans, just being beans. So whenever I start one of these, I like going on the internet. I like using a lot of reference. I like looking at reference. I like looking at poses. I like looking at all that stuff because it really helps me understand the the world that I live in. You know, I like looking at different animals. I like looking at different characterization of animals. I like just basically kind of looking at what other artists have interpreted in their artwork, as well as the people who have studied and whatnot, and the skeletal structures and creation of characters and whatnot. So that's basically what I did before I started this piece. I went on the internet. I looked at some alligators. I looked at the existing reference that I pulled. I looked at Beans, what I wanted to do for him this morning, and this is kind of what I came up with. So anyway, that being said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to a point where basically I'll get it to a point this morning, and then we'll go to time lapse, just so you guys won't get bored watching me draw. Anyway, what I've been working on in my professional career is doing a lot of product design for let me get this face here, for large corporations. I can't really tell you what the large corporations are, but that being said, it is going to be pretty awesome once this stuff is out. I am pretty excited and stoked. It's for some movies and some properties that are coming out soon. So whenever you draw something like this, you got to think of in terms of form. I think in terms of gesture. I think in terms of form. And I'm always thinking about character. How can I do this particular character at this particular point in time to kind of show you a different aspect of who he is? We haven't really gone into who Beans is as a character yet because I haven't had a huge amount of time to be able to develop him. He's in my head. Those of you who do stuff like this know that this particular character is currently living, in his entirety in my, here, we're going to do a pencil sharpener. It's like one of the worst sounds in the world. He lives in my head. I know what he does. I know how he thinks. I know exactly where he's coming from in pretty much every sense of the word, but it's nice to explore the character as I continue developing him and in the world. The first book in the series, Frank and Beans, is designed to kind of show you the development of a friendship Growing up, we all have friendships in our lives. And as we get older, it's much harder to develop reliable friendships. And we all have our acquaintance friendships. We all have our work friendships, and some of those friendships develop into something a little bit more substantial. But it is much harder, and that's it's much harder to have a friendship whenever you're older. There's a channel that I watch called Good Mythical Morning, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it on YouTube. And what's so incredible about that particular channel is those two guys have been friends, best friends, for an incredible amount of time. The time it takes to sow into a friendship like that, and develop and really get into something that you can rely upon and not have to put up, fronts and faces and stuff, is pretty substantial. I mean, they've been since kindergarten, I believe they've been friends, and to have that friend and the friendship is something that can be commended. I commend those two for being able to do that. I've had friends, throughout my whole life. I don't really stay in connection with anybody that I was friends with in high school. Definitely not high school, but definitely not whenever I was younger. I have one guy that I reconnected with on Facebook, and I grew up with him. But in the same accord, everybody changes. Everybody changes. So that's what this story is about. It's a story about friendship. It's a story about coming of age, and that's what the whole series is going to be about. That time, whenever being a friend ceases to be fun. and sometimes, especially in this situation, I developed this particular this particular story to kind of touch on the differences in between cultures and species. We have an alligator and we have a bear. Two completely different cultures and species, and they still are friends in the midst of that push and pull. You have the alligator, who basically comes from the swamp, who's kind of a free spirit, and then you have the bear, who is more introspective and although loves life, he definitely is a little bit more cautious about what he does. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to continue on with this particular illustration, and I'll ink it and color it and all that other fun stuff. It'll take me probably a little bit longer this morning, just because I don't know. I don't know if it's the weather or what it is, but lately I've just been, we all have those, especially as artists, we all have those times when we just, we get kind of tired. And that's kind of where I'm at this week. And being tired, you always start questioning so many aspects of what you do, especially if you don't have a continued success stream. If you don't have people beating down your door, you definitely start to question. It's like, well, am I doing the right thing? Am I following the right path? And what am I doing today? What have I done to perpetuate that dream? So, yeah, definitely lately I've kind of gone down that path, and it's probably not the best way to, or not the best place to be, but on the other hand, it is a journey, and I know that I'm on the right path to get there. So anyway, we're gonna do a time lapse for this bad boy, and we'll definitely see you on the other side. Thanks. Okay, that kind of wraps up the morning warm-up. I spent about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes on this. Not too much time. Again, these aren't meant to be, super rendered illustrations. They're meant to just be really quick thoughts, storyboard or some kind of a snippet or, just a moment in time in the character's life. Whenever you're doing visual development, you have to kind of, I equate it to being an explorer. An explorer. You're exploring the different avenues of the character. You're looking at exactly what, what skews, what looks good, what size, what, color, and I've gone a little bit further with this particular character series, Frank and Beans, because I'm developing it into a children's book. But that being said, I still like to explore and find out, the different avenues and stuff that the character has to offer. And plus, it's really good to just as an artist. And this is what I tell some of the kids. You're a visual explorer. You're there to kind of explore and look at life through a different lens. You're looking at things through a different mind, so to say. You're not just passing through life. You want to stop a minute. You want to look at what makes things work. You want to look at what, stop and smell the roses. That's what I'm kind of trying to say here. Don't get so caught up in the trials and tribulations of life. And those of you who are professional illustrators can really attest to this. A lot of times what will happen is you'll get caught up in somebody else's dream or somebody else's quest, and you'll lose your passion. Part of this daily thing that I try and do every day, it doesn't happen every day. I do draw something every day, but not always for myself. Because of course in life you got to make money. But what I'm trying to iterate to you is don't lose yourself in somebody else's dream. For years and years, and I've said this before, I was part of an organization that had a singular owner. And that singular owner had a vision for his company. And, I worked for him for over 10 years. And I really believed in what he was doing. And then as I got older, what I realized is everything had changed. And his vision was different from what I wanted to do with my life. And that's one of the reasons why, I left him. And he still to this day, he's a fantastic person. But I was making his vision come true. And, you can always do stuff on the side and still make money. And hindsight being 2020, we can always look back and think that some of the mistakes or the choices that we made were mistakes, but we don't see the entire picture. So I'm still developing my picture of my life, and you'll have hard days, you'll have easy days, you'll have, there'll be times when you have lots of money, there'll be times when you have zero money, and those are the times when you have to kind of prepare for, what it feels like to have to rely upon your skill set as an artist to be able to, open those doors so you can make some, more money. But in the midst of all that, what I'm trying to iterate to you is don't stop creating. Don't stop drawing. Don't stop doing those things that make you who you are, And even though you might be in the midst of creating somebody else's, dream, you got your dreams. What about your dreams? What about what you want to do with your life? What about you? Definitely find a bigger picture to be part of, but on the same accord, in today's market, in today's, the way that business is done on the internet, you can create your own children's book. You can create your own character set. You can create your own card game. You can create all these things and not need, somebody else's vision to make your dream come true. So anyway, that being said, thanks you guys for visiting my channel. Again, this is Beans of Frank and Beans. I'm working on a digital illustration. For those of you who are interested in some of the other videos I've done, you know, you can see this particular illustration right here be completed on, I believe, in my Cintiq review. I'll be doing, this is a Surface Pro 2. I'll be doing a Surface Pro 2 review as well for illustrators. And what's great about the Surface Pro 2 is the technology that is in the screen. It is a Wacom technology with over 1,000 points of sensitivity whenever you use it with a stylus. And this is a great travel sketchbook. And you can load full versions of Illustrator and Photoshop on it. And the battery life's about 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours. It's got an i5 processor, and it's just fantastic for those who are interested. And what's great about this is now you can pick these up for about $350, $400. And in my opinion, the iPad Pro being $900 is kind of a big expenditure. And that, I mean, you can load pretty much anything. The screen is obviously smaller, but I mean, heck, you know, I'm not doing full out sketches and illustrations on it. I'm doing, I'm not sketches. I'm not doing full out Photoshop, you know, 50 layers. I can on this particular machine, but at the end of the day, it is a sketchbook, a digital sketchbook. So anyway, this is Beans, and thank you again. I'm rattling on. Thank you again for all that you guys do. I'll try to get at least one video out a week until things, you know, settle down a little bit, until I get a little bit more consistency in what I'm doing. Thank you for liking and subscribing and being here. You know, the comments that you guys make are fantastic. You know, if you have something that you want me to draw, please make a comment in the description below, or the description, you know, make a comment in the comments below, and I'll see if I can't get to it soon. So anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.